Good evening. My name is Michael Tolan. I'm a caseworker. I've been assigned to help a young boy, Andy, whose family believes he is having some issues with verbal and written communication. Andy is 12 years old. He does not have any physical health issues, according to his family. Um, Academically, his performance is starting to suffer. He has no issues with multiple choice questions and answers on written tests. However, when it's time for him to write write out the answer to any kind of question, short or long form, he has a lot of trouble writing and expressing himself in writing. His thoughts are disorganized, and it reflects in the way he writes. Um, he has trouble with his vocabulary, and it's generally just not expressive when he writes. He also has issues when he's called upon by the teacher, verbally communicating whatever answer it may be. It's clear from both the fact that he understands what's being asked of him and that he can read perfectly fine, as well as the fact that he has an active social life at his church and at a little league baseball team, that he has no trouble understanding spoken language or reading. He does have trouble expressing himself both in written form and in verbal form. This leads me to believe that he has a language disorder of the expressive type. There are three types: expressive, receptive, and mixed. Receptive being trouble understanding, but given that he has no trouble understanding, it seems that he's going to have expressive language disorder. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder. Um, it is characterized by a person having great difficulty expressing themselves despite having comprehension of a language. Like Andy, they understand what's being said to them and they read well, but they have substantial issues putting sentences together, keeping their thoughts in line, using proper grammar, and using expanded vocabulary when they're trying to express themselves, both in writing and verbally. There's not a lot known about the cause of expressive language disorder. It could be linked to genetics, brain injury, or possibly even other disorders such as autism spectrum disorder, but most cases just don't have a known cause to them, especially in adolescence. Um, as as we can see, it's a very impairing disorder, and he's already experiencing impairment academically because he simply can't communicate effectively with his teacher. And it seems that he's starting to suffer social impairment as well because he is also unable to express himself to his peers or to anybody else that he may be socially active with. Um, Typically, expressive language disorder is treated with speech therapy, and the speech therapist will essentially break these writing and verbal communication skills down into very small bite-sized pieces, and build a person's ability up to communicate. I would really recommend that Andy's family start and take him to a speech therapist. Um, I do think it should be noted. It doesn't seem likely, but it is possible that Andy may also suffer from specific learning disorder, written expression impairment. Um, this could be comorbid, as it does present with impaired writing ability the same way that Andy is presenting. However, it does not affect verbal communication typically, and would not explain that symptom. I don't believe that it's the case, but I do think it's worth noting that it could be comorbid with expressive language disorder due to the fact that it has a almost identical presentation with written communication skills. But once again, I would really recommend that Andy starts speech therapy in order to try and stop some of the already noticeable impairment and reverse it so he can live a happy life where he does not have to worry about whether he can or can't communicate with the people around him. Thank you.